November 2015 witnessed the historic event of the opening of the first ever Ahmadiyya mosque in Japan. What makes it even more historic is that the mosque was inaugurated by the world head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, fifth Khalifa of the Promised Messiah alayhi salam, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah strengthen his hand. His Holiness takes the message of one God and the Holy Prophet of Islam to the corners of the earth, and his untiring efforts have left no room for the media to ignore this beautiful message of global peace and harmony. The press and media in Japan showed a great level of interest in the message that had reached the soil of Japan with the blessed presence of Huzur. Members of the media that got the opportunity to directly speak to Huzur showed great interest in knowing the purpose behind establishing the mosque in Japan.
ये कह रही है कि जापान में 100 से ज़्यादा मसाजिद हैं जो गैर अहमदी की हैं, तो अभी आईची प्रीफेक्चर में जमात अहमदिया की जापान की सबसे बड़ी मस्जिद तामीर हुई है, तो इसके बारे में हुजूर के क्या एहसासात हैं?
Just to construct a mosque is nothing. That is what I said explained in my sermon as well. The actual thing is that how do you spread the message of true Islam through your mosque. And our purpose of building the mosque is not only to worship here, to gather here, but to bring those people here who are true followers of the omnipotent God, Allah, the Almighty, and worship Him, and also obey whatever He has commanded us in the Holy Book of the Holy Quran. And the nutshell of the teaching is that a person should worship one and omnipotent God and discharge the duties he owes to the God, and secondly, to discharge the duties you owe to your fellow beings. So the importance of our mosque here is that we want to serve these two purposes, and we shall, all the Ahmadis living here in this area, all those who will come here to worship will, inshallah, I hope, will try to discharge these two duties.
How would you characterize the significance of this mosque as a base or as a step towards the creation of the kind of community you'd like to see in Japan?
This is just a milestone of our progress. So this is the first mosque we have built here as we progress here in this country. We hope we shall build some more mosques as our community grows. And it all depends on the members of the community as well. How do they behave? How the people see them? And if this mosque is preaching the message of love, peace and harmony, naturally people will be attracted towards it.
The media very rightly realized that the travelling of Huzur himself to Japan was no ordinary matter. A world leader of millions of Muslims must have a message to give to the people of Japan. They asked and got enlightening answers.
वो तो मैंने अपनी तकरीर में बता दिया है कि अमन और सलामती के लिए कोशिश करें, क्योंकि और दुनिया क्योंकि फसाद की तरफ बढ़ रही है, जंग की तरफ बढ़ रही है, और जापानी इससे सूरत हाल को ज़्यादा रियलाइज़ कर सकते हैं सही तरीके से. इसलिए जापानी अवाम भी और जापानी हुकूमतें भी कोशिश करें कि दुनिया में अमन कायम रहे और तीसरी जंग अज़ीम की सूरत पैदा ना हो.
Hazrat Khalifatul Masih's visit to Japan came at a time that was only a few days apart from the deadly massacre of Paris. As this is thought to be done in the name of Islam, almost all those who spoke to Huzur asked him how he saw the saddening incident.
वो पूछना चाह रही है कि वो जो पेरिस का सानिया हुआ उसके बारे में, और कह रही है कि वो जो आईसिस है उसकी वजह से वो इस्लाम का जो इमेज जो है वो चेंज होता जा रहा है, तो तो इसके बारे में हजूर क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
What happened in Paris, that was a completely brutal action. Huh? And we highly condemn it and disown it. It has nothing to do with the teachings, true teachings of Islam, right? And even immediately after that incident, I released a press release wherein I strongly condemned their action. So that is not according to the teaching of Islam, right? And what ISIS is doing in the name of Islam, it is also totally against the teaching of Islam. Islam is a religion of peace and love and harmony, not the brutalities and cruelties, right? So whatever they are doing in the name of Islam is just they are trying to defame the name of Islam. Islam never permitted to take the life of any person just without any reason. Wherever it is permitted, even the war is permitted, that is with some reasons. And the reason is that you only fight against those who want to destroy the religion, to finish the religion, right? And when the permission was granted for war, it was not only to save Islam, but to save Christianity, Judaism, and all other religions, Buddhist and all sort of other religions, right? This is why Quran, it is written in the Quran that if you did not stop them from doing these things, they will not let any mosque or church or synagogue or any temple remain here in this world. So you must stop them and fight them back if they are fighting. Otherwise, if there is no reason, you should not. Even if there is any fighting, you should not innocent people or women or children. So whatever those ISIS people are doing, it is against the teaching of Islam, right? But unfortunately, they are doing in the name of Islam. And I have spoken at length in detail in this regard in so many of my discourses and speeches.
This thing going on now where some Muslims are using the name of Islam for very, very violent and terrible acts. How does this create a challenge, or how do you overcome this situation where their actions are influencing the reputation of Muslims worldwide?
You see, these are the people who are trying to defame the name of Islam. And it is not the first time this attack has happened. After this attack, even for long, I have been telling the world that these people or these groups are actually doing some, or committing some brutalities in the name of Islam, but it has nothing to do with the teachings of Islam, the true teachings of Islam. So, although you are quite right, it's a big challenge, but as I have said earlier, we are a missionary organization, and we believe that the person who was to come according to the prophecy of the Holy Prophet of Islam has come, and he said that I have now, God has sent me to revive Islam and to bring the people, humanity, towards their Creator, and also to make them realize the duties they owe towards their fellow beings. So we have been doing this all the time. After every incident which takes place, anywhere in the world, we immediately we react and say this is the wrong teaching, this of which they are trying to portray, or wrong picture they are trying to portray. The true picture of Islam is this, and the Quran says this thing. And in my different discourses, speeches, addresses, I have quoted a number of Quranic verses which totally refutes their stance. On so many occasions I have spoken on this issue that their funding should be stopped, because if they can put sanction on Iran or Russia or some big powers and can somehow disturb their economies, why cannot they just stop the activities of ISIS? So I said on so many occasions that there must be some underhand dealing being done by those people, those either the governments or their agents, which is giving them the funding, or at least giving them the chance to have their trading, oil trading, or other type of transactions, through underhand transactions through banks or whatever the source can be. But I have very strongly condemned all these things, and not only that to stop their funding, but cut their supply line. Where are they getting their arsenal and ammunition from? It must be from some, because they don't have any arsenal industry. They are buying or purchasing all these things from outside. And it is said that there is underhand dealing somewhere, either in Eastern Europe or offshore. So this is why I say, if big powers are determined to cut their supply lines, to ruin them, they can easily do it. It was an article in the Time some few weeks back that there are some oil wells in ISIS area, and they are supplying crude oil or refined oil to neighboring countries, even to Syria. The Syrian, the Syria ruled by Bashar al-Assad. So, and there are long queues of big tankers, oil tankers standing there. And it was mentioned there in that article that some 5,000 or something attacks were made on ISIS targets, but only 196 or some of the sorties were done against those long queues. If had they wanted to stop selling their oil, they would have bombarded on those queues, on those tankers, or on their oil wells. So if they are not doing it, that means even these big governments are not serious. Now that after this Paris incidents, now they have started taking some serious steps, right? And they did some few sorties or attacks on those targets, and they were quite successful. So had they done it earlier, they would not have faced such type of episode here in Paris.
The beautiful message of Islam that the true Ahmadiyya Khalifa has to offer naturally raises a question as to what makes the message different from other sects of Islam.
we see that when the founder of the Ahmadiyya community claimed himself to be the Messiah and Mahdi, the guided one, he was a single person living in remote area of Punjab, India. There was no even road access there. And he claimed in 1889, and he passed away in 1908. So when he passed away, he left this world, the number of Ahmadiyya community was almost 500,000. So if that single person could have almost 500,000 people within 19 years, so we hope that, inshallah, as the missionary work is spreading all across the world, not only here in Japan, but everywhere in the world, we shall succeed. And at least our work is to preach. Our job is not to change the heart. But I can see Japanese are quite pious-natured people, and quite a number of them do need to have some religion which can be of their satisfaction, to satisfy their heart. So this is why we are not pessimistic. We hope one day, if not in this generation, in next generation, they will, quite a number of them will accept. So I cannot precisely tell you that within 10 and 20 years what will happen. But hopefully we see that how the world is going towards its own destruction by the people. One day people will realize the importance of religion, and especially the true religion. So when they see the true religion and they see the religion which is bringing them closer to their Creator and giving them the teaching to love each other and discharge your duties you owe to each other. So I hope, inshallah, we shall succeed.
What is it that you're talking about when you're talking about a dead Islam versus a living Islam?
You see, it is a common thought of among Muslims, other Muslims, that now the attribute of God, of revealing to His chosen people, has stopped. But we say that you cannot restrict the attributes of God, or you cannot mount God, the Allah, the Almighty, the Omnipotent, that He cannot do this thing or He can do this thing, or He used to do something in the past and He cannot do now. We say still He has the power to talk to His chosen ones, and that is called in Islamic terminology wahi, revelation. And we believe that the attribute of revealing His message to somebody is, that is still working. So, if God has stopped talking to His people, then what is religion? What is the cause of accepting some religion? That means the religion is dead now. No reformation can be made. You cannot revive, because if we believe that religion is from God, from Allah the Almighty, then after some time we see that with the passage of time, the quality and the true teaching is, deteriorates. But this is why time to time God sends His chosen ones, His prophets, to revive the religion. And according to the prophecy of the Holy Prophet of Islam, it had to happen with the passage of time. And also he also prophesied that in the 14th century, a person will come as with the title of Messiah and Mahdi. And we believe that he is the person whom we have accepted as Messiah of Mahdi, and he is the founder of the Ahmadiyya community. So he said that I have come to revive Islam. And that is according to the prophecy of the founder of Islam. And he said that Allah the Almighty has revealed to me that now you have to revive Islam, and there are some misconstrued interpretation of the verses of the Holy Quran. You have to rectify them. You have to correct them. So, and I have been guided. He claimed that I have been guided by Allah the Almighty. So this is the living God, which still exists. If there is no living God, if a God has lost one of his attributes or some of his attributes, then if some religion is following that God, that means that religion is dead. This is the difference which I wanted to make.
This was only a glimpse into the detailed interviews of Huzur by the Japanese media. More details of the interviews and the whole tour can be found at www.pressahmadiyya.com.